Okay, what we've done is we've temporarily mounted the hood back in place, and we've marked the opening on the wall. We do have the vent, they did come in yesterday, and I've taken this vent apart. Actually, I ordered two of them, and this is the outside part of the vent, and this is the inside part. I'm going to use this as a template to mark the opening for cutting. The opening in the back of this housing is slightly smaller than the opening of the vent, so I'm going to have to go just a little bit outside of this marking in order to make a hole big enough for the actual vent to go through. So I've marked the opening that was covered by this plate, and it's quite a bit smaller, as you can see here. This plate will actually go inside of it with play. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure the width of this centered on that square that I've measured on the wall using this as a template. And I've decided to slide this all the way back flush with the wall in lieu of having a duct come through at this point. I may change later. I may change and decide to slide this back out and then use this second vent for a duct to go from the external vent to the vent hood. More about that later when I get into it. I may just end up doing like the manufacturers do. They simply slide the hood back flush with the wall, have the vent come through the wall, and go through the opening. And I may do that. It's easier and requires less, but then again, I've never been afraid of it, so we'll keep you posted. Okay, we have used the template here, and we've put it up here, and we've marked around the opening to figure out where we need to do the cutting. And so we've got our template marked on the wall, and so we're going to make our initial cut. We're going to come this way, and this way, and then once we get that done, we will go ahead and finish out the top, because it's a little tight here where my cutter is going to go in, because the cutter is going to have to go in at an angle. Down here it can go in straight, over here it can go straight, but when I get up at this top, because of the closeness to this area right here, it's going to be having to go in at an angle. I can't go in straight like this, and so I don't want to cut an angle, so I may use a different mechanism to do the cut across the top. So we'll let you know as it goes. Okay, what I'm using is a oscillating cutter, probably one of the best tools ever invented, and so I'm going to make the cuts with it. Alright, we made our first initial cuts. Now we're going to figure out about the part across the top, and I'll be back with you in just a minute. Okay, fortunately, the cutting tool will work on the top, and so we'll make this cut. now what we're going to do is we're going to pull out this plug that it should be this wood with styrofoam glued on the back of it. We're going to pull that out so we see the fiberglass to the outside before we start our cut again. And so that's the plan at this point. So since this part right here is waste, cut us a hole in here and get this out of here. See, there's the wood with the styrofoam on the back, and this is what's inside your walls. And so we'll get all the styrofoam out of here, and it'll put us on the back side of the fiberglass, which is right there. And so the rest of this plug, we'll go ahead and take it out piece by piece like that, and then we'll be back with you, okay? Now this tool is very good for removing this styrofoam and stuff, and so we'll see what it's like. And what an incredibly useful tool. It just absolutely blows me away how useful it is. Okay, we've got our hole cut from the inside, and this is the outside fiberglass right here. And we've got all the styrofoam cleaned out, and this is our vent right here. And we've got a perfect fit, and we've discovered that the vent will protrude from the wall a slight distance, probably about a half an inch. And so what that means is that our vent hood's going to be away from the wall about a half an inch, which is kind of where we wanted to go to start with. And so this is going to work out exceptionally well. We've got the hole cut here. The vent fits in perfectly. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to cut through the fiberglass to the outside. And then we're going to go outside and we're going to install the vent from the outside with the butyl tape. And we'll have the vent mounted in here, protruding from the inside like this. And then we'll come back and put the vent hood back on there. But cutting this hole in here was very, very easy with the oscillating multi-tool. I probably sound like a commercial. I actually have two of these. I have one that is battery powered, and I have one that is electric. I got the electric one, not electric, it's line powered, non-battery powered, I guess you call it. Anyway, I got it from Harbor Freight. This one here I got at Lowe's. This is a Bosch, and not one is better than the other one. This one is cordless, and I'm a big fan of cordless tools when you're working in areas that don't have electricity. But my other one, which works just as good, is the one from Harbor Freight, and it's very inexpensive, and they got several different tips for it. But I have found that is probably by far one of the most useful tools I've ever purchased, and I found so many uses for it. So if you don't have one of these multi-tools, go get you one. Get you two of them. Get you one like me with battery, one without. We'll be back. Okay, we're now making the cut on the fiberglass, and we have cut three sides. Again, with the multi-tool, we're going to cut the final side here. the fiberglass cut out. Now let's go outside and see what we find. Well, there we are. Our opening is right here, and we are going to push that from the outside to the inside. Let me go get a ladder and then we'll be back. Okay, here we are. We got our little hole here made, and we're gonna try to push it out. There we go. We got our hole made for the vent. We'll put the vent in and seal it with butyl tape, and we'll be back. All right, we are here. We've got the hole cut. We've inserted the vent from the outside. You can obviously see that it fits pretty good. This is a view of the vent from the outside once we cut the hole. One of the things that I wanted to point out is there's nothing in this wall but styrofoam. There's no wires, there's no plumbing, there's no anything. Keystone would not tell us this. They wouldn't provide a schematic. They wouldn't give any information at all. So for the benefit of all the folks that want to try to do this, there's nothing in this wall on this particular model, the Bullet 310 BHS bunkhouse with a kitchen slide here. There's nothing in this wall but styrofoam. So once you make the hole and you slide the little vent in, we're going to do some sealing and we'll be good. We'll be back. Okay, we have put the bolts into the outside vent. We got the butyl tape, as you can see, hanging out. Now we're going to trim off the butyl tape, and that'll complete the external installation, and then we will go to the inside and we will complete it in there. Well, I cut a couple of pieces of metal. I mean, you could cover this hole up with duct tape or, you know, Gorilla Tape or whatever, but I'm a stickler for making it look like it used to be or like it belongs or whatever. So I cut a piece of metal, and what I'm going to do is put 2 self-tapping screws through here to bolt it on. I'll show you. I've already done the other side. I'll show you what it looks like. And there you go. It looks like it belongs there, and so we'll do that, and then we'll be ready to put this fan back in the hood and then put the hood up. Okay, one of the things that I have discovered that may provide me a little bit of aggravation is the wires that go to the fan and the light are located primarily toward the front. So I may not be able to go all the way back to the wall. So I may have to create a duct, which is not going to be an issue. But anyway, I'll keep you posted. We'll just experiment with it and see what we'll come up with, and then we'll let you know. Alrighty, I have fashioned a ductwork up out of some flashing that I got at Lowe's. They were little 90-degree bends of very thin sheet metal that sold for 68 cents a piece. These are the pieces of flashing that I use to make the ductwork. They're just a very thin, easy to work with sheet metal. Find them over in the roofing section, and I trimmed them down using just common tin snips, and then I fashioned